Hey everybody, today we have a brand new John Deere Model E130 rolling off the truck. We're going to check it out. We're going to go through all the features. Let's get started. At the time of this video, this tractor could be picked up for around $2,000 at Lowe's. It says in-store pickup. You could generally finagle free delivery to your house like I did. Let's begin with what's going on under the hood. So we've got a 22 horsepower vtwin measured at 3,600 RPM. I don't know the significance of 3,600 RPM. I imagine that's the speed of the governor perhaps. Interesting that it says here that there's no choke. We're going to come back to that later. We'll remove this cover, have a look at the air filter, and make sure it's seated correctly as part of pre-inspection. I want to make sure everything's in order before we turn on this engine. It's a good filter with decent surface area. Everything seems to be okay. We'll put the cover back on. The hood has a specially designed cowl built within it that's supposed to mesh with the top of the engine to provide for better cooling and get that hot air out as quick as possible. We can also see a sticker on top of this that tells you all about the service intervals, when to do what. They call this the 30-second oil change system. It's more of a $40 gimmick. It's really not that big of a deal. So basically the oil's in the filter, you just unscrew the filter, you put in a new filter that comes with oil, and apparently your oil change is done. I don't know if this is really practical or not, but they charge a lot more money for it. You can see this one comes from the factory because it's got a cable tie on it. This also only removes a portion of the engine oil on the change, as opposed to the old system where you could completely remove the oil, so something to think about. Here's the location of the fuel filter, as well as a sticker over here with some information, as well as checking to make sure we have an air filter before starting an engine. We should also make sure we have adequate oil. We'll do that now, a quick test to measure the oil level. Clean that dipstick off, close it fully, open it back up, and check our level. And we see that it is right between the two dots. We're good to go. Close that up. Let's continue with the rest of the features. Here's the handle that sets the deck height. The numbers on the side correspond to the actual cutting height of the grass in inches. This assumes that the tires are at the correct pressure and that the deck is correctly calibrated. Front tires are 14 pounds. Rear tires are 10 pounds. Whoever did the uncrating of this wanted me to know that the grease fittings were adequately serviced. Good job. Comes with a nice foam seat with shock absorbing springs on the rails. There's also a kill switch under this seat for safety. We can see that adjustment is easier done when you're sitting on the tractor, not standing behind it. I'd also opt for a cover for the seat. The Florida sun would quickly destroy this, I would believe. But that's my review of the seat. Right side wheel well has a cup holder as well as a small storage compartment. This being a hydrostatic transmission, there's a gas pedal, which is a forward pedal, and a reverse pedal, which takes you backwards, but it's really just pushing the forward pedal in the opposite direction, as you see here. This is the cruise control lever right here. If I take the cruise control lever and lift it with the throttle engaged forward, the pedal will stay in that position. If I push down, it will release. You'll notice that if I do it for reverse, it will not work. You cannot run cruise control in reverse on a tractor with spinning blades for safety reasons. This is the blade engagement. Pushing it up engages the blades, and pulling it back down disengages the blades. This is the service reminder and hour usage clock. Let you know when you have to do things to the tractor. Also let John Deere know when your warranty is expired. This is the throttle. It's generally kept at full throttle by the rabbit here in the detent when you're using it as a mower. But I want to discuss really quickly up here. It points out that there is in fact a choke when starting, even though it said no choke on the motor. And we'll just look really quickly at the motor to see that the choke does engage. The only difference appears is that you have to hold it in the choke position or the spring pulls it back for really cold days when you start the engine. This is the parking brake right here. It functions to keep the brake pedal in the lock position. You do have to depress the brake pedal to release it, and obviously depress the brake pedal to lock it. This button over here allows you to operate the mower with the blade spinning while going in reverse if you have the need to do so, which I guess I have on my old mower. There was not a button, a safety that allowed you to do that. You just could. I guess this functionality was confusing enough that they actually supplied a separate card, as you see here, to explain what this is for. This is always a nice feature you find on modern mowers. Hook your hose to it, turn on the blades, blast it with water with the blade spinning, cleans all the grass and the crap out from the underside of the deck. This model comes with a set of headlights. I believe most do now. We're going to wait till tonight to try those out. There are accessory holes that are on both the front and the back of the unit where you can put on sunshades and different covers and whatnot. There's a variety of options that could go on this tractor. There's no horn. A horn would have been awesome. One last thing to point out, albeit very embarrassing, this is my first hydrostatic tractor. Make sure that after you accept it from delivery, that this rod is pushed all the way in before you attempt to operate it. This is for trailering and transportation only to disengage a transmission. If you don't push that in and you push down on the gas, nothing's going to happen. So make sure that rod is pushed in. The next step is critically important, and chances are it has not been done right from whoever you purchase this from reasons I will explain. Sets the balance and the pitch of the deck has to be done. I have a separate video for this. Click the link up on the top right. Will take you to that. Tank holds 2 gallons of gas. We have ethanol-free gas at our station. If you're not using ethanol-free, I highly encourage you to use stabilizer mixed with your gas. I saved pointing out the last feature, which is a fuel gauge, for last, for obvious reasons. Just a glance below the seat will let you know how much gas you got left. Again, 2 gallons fills it right to the top. We'll close it up, we'll get started. Under the seat we see a safety switch or a cable going to it. It's one of the several safety mechanisms that has to be observed when operating this. We can see that the emergency brake is on, and this allows me to turn it on, provided we could see here that the blades are off. If the emergency brake is on, I can turn on the tractor, even if I'm not sitting on the seat. So I got it running. I'll turn the throttle up, and I'll turn it down so it doesn't make as much noise as I talk through this portion of the video. This is the only time you can turn on the tractor when you're not on it, and it allows us to take a look and just see the engine running with the cover off. And on this tractor, you generally should not run the engine with the cover off for cooling purposes. But this engine is cold, it doesn't matter at this moment. As a rule, though, looks kind of cool in the camera. It does run smoother with 2 cylinders. Close that up. Now, if I take off the brake, I'm still not sitting on the seat, so I'll shut off the e-brake. See, I'm not in the seat, so I'll push the pedal down, lift it up. Okay, the engine dies. This time, sitting on the tractor, I'll push down on the brake and start the engine. On a hill steep enough, this transmission will allow the tractor to roll with the brake off. I thought that interesting. The forward pedal moves it forward, as you would expect, and the reverse pedal moves it in reverse. More on that later. I want to touch on a specific feature of reverse right now. So I'm going to engage the blades to demonstrate this feature in reverse. And we can see, obviously, with the blades engaged, I can drive forwards, no problem at all, as one would expect. However, we can see as I put my foot on the pedal to go reverse with the blades engaged, the engine dies. Quickly bring it back forward. I'll try again, and the engine dies. What we have to do here is you have to hold this button in before you push down on the pedal in reverse. So I'm holding it in, and now I push down, and now we can drive in reverse with the blade engaged, and then you can let go of the button and continue to drive in reverse. However, if you let go of the pedal, push down the pedal again, the engine will die. You're going to have to push down the button again, and then you push down in reverse, continue your course in reverse, and then you can drive as much as you want until you let go of that button. So that's what that function does. The forward and reverse pedals act very much like a gas pedal on a car with an automatic transmission with regard to acceleration only. If you press down gently, the tractor accelerates gently. You press down abruptly, it accelerates abruptly until you let go, and you realize that it acts very much like a brake pedal, stopping extremely abruptly, throwing you almost out of your seat. And if you let go very gently, it comes to a gentle stop. I found this a little surprising the first time I drove it, and this is also obviously exhibited in reverse, the very same thing. So take note that when you let go of these pedals, to do so gently, or it'll come to an immediate stop, very surprisingly. With cruise control, you simply set the desired speed in the forward direction that you want to drive, and you pull up on the cruise control handle. You can then take your foot off of the pedal. I'll tell you right now that if you're going to shut off cruise control, you really better make sure that you have your foot on that pedal, or when it locks off, it's going to come to an abrupt and dead stop. Night before mowing, we take the tractor to the back corner of the yard to take a look at the lights. The lights are very bright, sufficient for this tractor. We use it at night. Not that I would mow the lawn at night. Here we see the shed about 15 feet away in the back corner and the fence about 30 feet away, very bright. With that, we're finally moving to the grass cutting phase. We're going to do some trials here on the easement to see what we're going to get with the current height adjustment. We're going to start at the highest level, which is 4 inches. This pass will be evaluated to determine what the next adjustment will be. So we're setting up, turn on the blades, and this is going to be the first run of the mower. We're going to see what this cut looks like, so we're going to run through a line right now. Four looks to be too long. We're going to knock it down a quarter, and we're going to do the row next to it so we can do a comparison. Now at 3 3/4. We feel that's probably still a bit too tall, but we're going to go with it and do the whole yard. But next week we're probably going to do the whole yard at 3 1/2. Mowed the yard real nice. Again, we're going to go with a lower setting. I'm used to the older style with a clutch that engages the mower and you change the speeds with the different gears. But this was interesting. It was very convenient. It just kind of felt weird using a mower like this, but all in all, the experience was good. So now we'll do a quick rinse off of the deck. This is one mentioned previously that you attach your hose to. I imagine that it's good when you have lots of grass caked up, but this is brand new, so I don't know how much it's going to do, but we'll try it out anyway.
Anthony, turn on the hose!
I'm not going to go and look under there. I can only assume that it cleans stuff, so I'm going to let it run for just a little bit and let it clean.
Anthony, shut off the hose!
I realize I disconnect this. I should probably rinse off the
Anthony,
rest of
turn
the
the
tractor
hose
before
back
putting
on.
it away. So a quick rinse and it's ready for service next week. Hope you enjoyed this video of the review of the John Deere E130 and found it informative. Click that like button and that subscribe button down below. Helps me out a lot when you do. It lets you know when more new movies come out. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Would you like to reply?